we are joined by Joey Logano, driver of the number 22 Shell Pennzoil Ford. He is our defending race winner here at Pocono. Currently 18th in the standings. In 8 starts here, he has 1 win and 2 Coors Light poles. Joey, if you can just start off talking about going into Pocono this weekend.
Yeah, I love coming up here. Besides the weather, this place is really cool, and I've always enjoyed, even before they repaved it, I thought it was a really cool racetrack, and obviously last year we've getting our win here and having a few poles here. I think that's an important track to come to. I even think the atmosphere around here is cool. Bunch of stuff to do outside here, and being a Northeast guy, it kind of feels a little bit like home for me. So I enjoy it, and we're ready to go.
Great, thanks a lot. We'll open up to questions. Please wait for the wireless mic and start with your name and affiliation. We'll start over here with Claire.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. When you see the rain that we're having here and you think about not qualifying today potentially, what are your thoughts? And looking ahead to the weekend, your thoughts about Pocono?
Yeah, well, our big thing is I'm running Iowa this weekend in a nationwide car, so I'm going to have to go back and forth and trying to figure out the logistics of when we can go and how long should I stay here and all that. So that part's been topic of discussion this morning already for us. But if we don't qualify, unfortunately, I guess we'll start 18th if we don't even get practice on the racetrack. So I'm sure we'd be better than that if we do get the practice. I feel like all year we've been a very solid car and been able to run up in the easy top 10 most of the time. So I would expect the same here to keep doing that, and we'll just have to work our way up to the front.
And what are the current logistics, or do you have a list of exactly what you think they are currently?
Well, the plan was, if everything was sunny, would be to practice and qualify here. Pocono is priority. The Sprint Cup car, our Shell Pennzoil Ford, is our priority car. And then after qualifying was to run to the airport and fly out and then get the second practice, which I believe it starts at 6:30. I believe in Iowa. We might want to double check that, but I think it's around then. But if we ran out here sooner, I'll try to make the first practice and the second practice at Iowa. So we'll just have to wait and see and kind of play it by ear and see what the weather looks like and go from there.
We'll go in the back to David.
David Caravella, NASCAR.com. Joey, to follow up on that one, first of all, is there any chance that you would forego any practice here? Or is that
no?
Okay, that's
not
going to happen.
No, we'll do what we got to do to make sure we get all the track time here to make sure we can have our best shot here. Because if you look at our season, obviously we're 18th in points, but we're really close to the chase. Really, we're only 30-something points out, I think. So we're very capable of being getting in the chase this year, and we can't afford to not give it our all at this point. We'll make sure we focus into the Sprint Cup car and trying to get the best finish out of here we possibly can.
I don't know if you saw Greg Biffle's comments earlier this week about he thought maybe the Fords were lagging behind a little bit. I mean, did you see that? You agree with that in any way, or have any reaction to that?
Well, I guess if you look at it, results don't lie. And I think that's obvious for all you guys to see. But I do feel like we are working really hard and trying to make improvements and trying to work together as one Ford, as one team, and trying to figure out what we got to do to go a little faster. And that's how it's always going to be. We're always looking for more speed. Even if we were the fastest cars out there, we need more speed all the time. So that's how our sport is, and that's how racing is. Are we where we want to be? No, we're not where we want to be. We need to be faster. We haven't really won the races I feel like we should have won already this year as Ford in general. But I do not feel like we're way far off. And all the guys at Ford are working really hard and trying to pinpoint what we need and how we can improve on it. Thank you.
All right, we'll come over to this side of the room. We'll have Ryan and then come up front.
Ryan McGee, ESPN. Over here, Joe. Is the timing of this track just about perfect for you because of the momentum shift that's happened with you over the last 5-6 weeks?
I look at the last few racetracks as being really good racetracks for me. Darlington, Charlotte, Dover, Pocono. Those are pretty much my strongest racetracks, most fun racetracks for me. Obviously, so I run the best at them, and so this is a big time of the season for us to capitalize. I feel like we've been running well. We've had a lot of top fives, a lot of top tens the last few weeks, but we also aren't where we need to be yet. We haven't won that race yet, so. At this point, I do feel like we go to any track and we're going to be competitive. I look at last weekend at Dover. I was very proud of my team. I thought in practice we weren't very good, and I was kind of disappointed about it before the race even started. I'm like, it's going to be a tough day, and we changed a lot over the night. And I felt like we were a 13th or 14th place car in the beginning of the race. I'm like, well, if we can maintain here, we can get our car better. Then we had the flat left front tire, go down 2 laps, continually make our car better, get our 2 laps back, and come home 7th. After all that, that's a huge day for us to recover from looking like we're going to finish 22nd or 23rd to finishing 7th, and that's what we got to focus on doing every week, no matter what. And being on top of that, looking like it wasn't going to be a good race to having a solid top 10 and maybe even better if we had some more laps. I was happy with that, and that's what we got to do to get into this chase right now. You can see how close the points are. It's ridiculous how close they are. It's awesome for the fans, and it's good for me because I need to get up in there. But those wins are really important, and if you can't win, you have to have a solid finish at this point to keep yourself steadily moving up.
Joey, John Bryant from the Focus local newspaper here. Who are the 2 drivers that are going to qualify your car if you're unable to do it?
Well, I'll qualify here.
You're going to stay here until qualifying is called, and then go to Iowa.
Right.
All right. What happens if it's rained out today? Then you only need 1 driver, and that's out at Iowa.
Yeah. So if we do get to a point that I can't drive in Iowa, because this will be priority. So if there's a chance of us being on the racetrack in Pocono, I will be here. But if there's practice in Iowa at the same time and I can't be there, we'll have Sam Hornish up there. Obviously he'll have his car, but he'll be able to transfer over and drive the 22 discount tire Ford a little bit and just tune it in. Make sure it's close. Make sure travels are close. Make sure there's no vibrations or leaks or anything dumb like that. And give me something close, and then we'll have to go from there. Obviously, that's not the ideal situation. If you, as a driver, you want to be in the car and setting it up yourself, because all of us drive in a different way. But I couldn't think of someone better to put in the car than Sam. So I feel like it's our best plan we got.
As a follow-up, then, knowing that Sam's going to be out in Iowa for you, do you use his setups when you're running with them?
I really don't know a whole bunch about Sam's technique, because I've run 3 nationwide races or 4 nationwide races, and one of them was Talladega. So that's kind of it's hard read so far to feel out. Okay, when he says it's tight, do I think it's tight, or do I think it's that tight, or what do we do? And is he driving the corner harder than me or less than me, or to get our travels to our splitter right and all that? So that's something that even this year with Brad and myself, trying to learn each other on the way we different techniques at different racetracks and all that. I don't have that database with Sam yet to know how that's going to be, but I do know he'll get it close for me. He's obviously a great race car driver that's already won a nationwide race this year, so I feel like he can get us in the ballpark.
Dustin in the back.
Dustin Long, Motor Racing Network. Joey, after this weekend, how do you look at the upcoming next 3 or 4 races, the tracks, Michigan, Sonoma, Kentucky, Daytona? You talk about the battle for these chase spots so close. How do you look at these next 4 tracks for you, and what's going to be the difference in going up or down in the standings there for you?
Well, we can't make any mistakes. That's the first thing. Whether that's me as a driver, I can't make any mistakes, or as in a team. Whether that's in the pit stops, if it's a mechanical failure, if it's a setup mistake, whatever it is, we can't afford to make them because of where we are in the points. And we're where we are in points because we've had too many mistakes throughout this year. But if I look at the way we can recover from this, my team is strong enough to do that. My team is super strong. They are definitely a championship-winning team, and we're growing every day, and I'm proud of that. So there's no reason why I feel like we can't do it. And you know, yes, we had some mistakes and some growing pains in the beginning of the year, but the most important thing to look at is we learn from it, and we're getting better from that. So you make a mistake once, you know, it's not a big deal. You make one twice, then you got to look back at it and say, okay, what are we doing here? So, and that's when you got to figure stuff out. But as long as we learn from it and keep getting better, I'm not in panic mode at all right now on trying to make it yet.
And also, Joey, just as a follow, you've talked in the past about in coming into the sport so young and just trying to develop that leadership quality and the challenges that have been with that. Now you go to a new team, and certainly you were looked upon as a leader. How comfortable are you in that position now, in this position with trying to race your way in the chase? How different are you in leadership as opposed to a year or two ago then?
Way better, way better, and I'm having fun with it. It's a good time to get to know these guys and figure out how, as a driver and as a leader, you can make your team stronger. And the cool part is I look at Todd Gordon, my crew chief. He's got the same mentality as me, and I feel like we're very similar in a lot of ways, which works out good for us. You know, I feel like our strengths and weaknesses are fairly similar, and we're able to work on those together, and we're very open about what those are. We're not trying to put on a show for anybody. You know, if there's a weak point, I let him know what my weak points are, and he lets me know what his are, and we try to, together as a team, improve on those, and I think you see the results there throughout this year.
Hi, Joey. Candace Smith, drafting the circuits. Just going on what you were just talking about with your crew chief, I had Larry McReynolds on. He said that when he got paired with Davey Allison, he just knew that was his driver. Do you feel then that the chemistry you've just explained is very similar, that this is a really great match at this point with the communication and the chemistry?
Yeah, I think it's working well together. There's a lot of communication there, and you know, whether we're at the shop or here, like I said, we're not hiding nothing from each other, and that's important to have. And I look at even the 3 weeks of adversity we had to fight with having the penalties and all, and not having Todd there. Obviously, he was involved as much as he possibly could be, and I feel like that built our team even stronger. We used that to our advantage, and really raise everybody's game throughout the whole team a little bit. And now that we got him back, we can be, like I said, even stronger. So. Yeah, I mean it's been an important thing for us. We've been getting better, and like I said, whatever we do, we got to do our best at it and be able to keep getting better and using every situation, even if it looks like it's something that's not going our way, to our advantage somehow.
Right. Just a quick follow-up with your Nationwide. I realize that you keep saying priority is Cup. That makes sense, of course. You had such a great run in Nationwide last year. Is it just a fun thing for you to do? I mean, obviously, if it's a Nationwide track at the track the Cup is, there's great practice and everything. But here you're traveling and the weather and all that. Is it just because it's fun and it's great to get your name there and for the fans and everything?
Well, I do enjoy running nationwide races, to be honest with you. Does this race going to Iowa make perfect sense to run? No, it doesn't. I'm not going to lie about that. It was either Brad or me to drive this thing. And, you know, we're going to run in the same situation in the second Iowa race. I don't know how we're going to do this. So I told him I'd do the first one, and then we'll go from there. So, you know, we would put Ryan Blaney in it if that was a possibility, but he's off racing his truck, so we can't do that. So the best next thing we're going to do is take one of us from Pocono here to go run that race and to give those guys the best shot they can to win. You know, as a Penske, as a team, we want to win races and any way we can and give ourselves the best shot. No matter what it is. So I feel like this is the best opportunity we got to go up there and win races and as a team and for that 22 team. And we'll go have some fun and hopefully bring home a trophy. Thanks.
We'll only have time for two more. We're going to end over on this side with Bob and then Nate.
Okay.
Bob Hocker, Sporting News. Do you go to Iowa at all thinking that if they ever do get a cup race there that those extra laps will help?
They would, yeah. Any extra laps there would help. I haven't been to Iowa in years, though. I don't really, and it looks like it's a lot bumpier than what it used to be. I ran the first race ever there in Iowa in the Hooters Pro Cup car, and I led the first lap, so I thought that was cool. But then I blew up, and that wasn't as cool. But I haven't been there in probably 5-6 years at least. So practice will be important to get there, and if there ever is a cup race there, it will be important to have some laps around that joint. And I'm pretty sure they pack out the stands pretty good there, from what I hear. So there's some really good fans up there in Iowa, so it'll be fun to race up in front of them.
Last question here, Nate.
Nate Ryan, USA Day Sports. Joey, looking at the chase, it would seem like wild card's probably still your best possibility. I was wondering if you could size it up. I mean, there's only one guy, 11th to 20th now, Stewart, who has a victory, and I know Denny Hamlin he's pretty far outside the top 20. He's still trying to look to get into that. Are you looking at him still as a threat, or are you just looking at guys 11th through 20th, and how are you looking at, I guess, the whole wild card scenario?
I don't think we can not look at anybody. I think we got to look at everyone as a threat to do it. But I think the main thing is we got to focus on ourselves, not on what everyone else is doing. Yes, we need to win, but I don't feel like that's our best chance yet. I do feel like we can have some solid finishes and work our way up into the top 10 in points. I really, truly, honestly feel like we can do that. Obviously, a win would help that a ton to get for our wild card stuff, but I don't feel like making it by points is out by no means at all. So, yes, we got to look at everyone as a threat, but we can't focus on that. We got to focus on ourselves being a threat and how we're going to, get the best out of every race we can.